Yes, Prabhu. Please proceed with Narasimha prayer, Prabhu.
Bhakti Vedanta Swamy Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahaladaladaine.
Praladaladaine.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Shilatanka Nakalaye.
Shilatanka Nakalaye.
Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha.
Ito Narasimha, Parato Narasimha.
Yato yato yami tato Narasimha.
Yato yato yamito Narasimha.
Bahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha.
Ahir Narasimha, Hridaye Narasimha.
Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade.
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapadye.
Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Abduda Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubrigam Keshava Drutta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadishu Hare Jaya Jagadishu Hare Jaya Jagadishu Hare Tavakara
Tavakara Kamalavare Naka Madbut Shringa Alita Hiranyakashapur Anubrahma Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadish Hare Jagadish Hare Jagadish Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev.
Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Simhadev Jaya Narasimha Dev.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada.
Shri Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki
Jai
प्रहलाद महाराज की
Jai
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
नमो ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
जय। नमो ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai
श्रील गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की
Jai
श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की
Jai.
से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
Jai
नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की
Jai
श्री वृंदावन धाम की
Jai
मथुरा धाम की
Jai
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम
Jai
मायापुर नवदीप धाम की
Jai
गंगामाई की
Jai
यमुना माई की
Jai
भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की
Jai
गिरी गोवर्धन की
Jai
सामवेद भक्त वृंद की
Jai
राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की
Jai.
all glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna. Hare
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, Shri Guru and Chapter Prabhupada. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की
Hey.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
Narayanyam Namaskrityam.
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
तो जयामुदीरये
Sujayamurirahe.
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
भागवत सेवया
Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam.
भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके
Bhagavati Sloke.
भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
Bhagavati Naishtiki.
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Please accept my obeisances. I'm going to Srila Prabhupada. Today is actually our Ishtagoshti program. So devotees have an opportunity to share their thoughts, opinions. They can discuss anything they wanted to have any conversation, have any questions, they can talk about it. And they can share it with other devotees. If they want to do any kirtan, they can do kirtan also. So Chandrasekhar Prabhu, Uma Mataji, you wanted to share anything?
Yes, Prabhuji, we get a lot of solace listening to your discourse. With Krishna's blessings, we are trying to come to normal thing.
Excellent.
And we see in Krishna's place our son.
Hari Bol. Yes. Krishna definitely will take care of your son for 100% sure. You are taken up to Krishna consciousness, then
Yes,
Krishna promises that he takes care of not only your son, but also entire of your dynasty for the 14 generations, right? So that's the assurance given by Krishna. So definitely it will be fulfilled. Wonderful, Prabhuji. So you are
yes.
chanting that your 16 rounds plus another 8 rounds for your son.
Now I have made mine 10 and his 12, Prabhuji.
Oh.
I want him to take more.
You should not give up on your 16. That should be fixed.
Okay.
Whatever you do, that you do it for your son. But your 16 is, you are taking up to devotional service seriously. That's the thing. That's the primary. So you should do your 16 hours sincerely. And how many ever you can do it for your son.
Okay.
So the benefit to your son comes through Krishna's mercy on you. And we can get Krishna's mercy. We can invoke Krishna's mercy by we sincerely engaging in the devotional service.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
you. Uma Mataji, do you want to say anything?
Nothing.
How are you doing?
Have we committed anything to do next one?
I would like to know whether both of us have committed any sin to lose our son so early in life.
Mataji, actually, see, we all lose our sons sometime, right? Everybody who has taken birth in this material world has to leave their body. But first of all, you don't think that, you have committed any sin to go through this particular process. And we need to take it as, it's a special mercy of Krishna to give us some superior lessons and bring us closer to Krishna. Krishna puts us in a different situations. Imagine a situation, Mataji. Pandavas, we all know about Pandavas, right? Mahabharata. And Pandavas are very, very dear to Krishna. Very most exalted devotees of Krishna. We know Arjuna is the best of the best friend for Krishna. But imagine situation of the life of Pandavas. What kind of, life they led? Continuously from the beginning of their life, They have gone through so many tribulations. Is it not? Did they committed any sins? Not really.
No.
They are great dharmatmas, great devotees of Krishna. Still, Krishna put them, in fact, Krishna is with them all the time. Still, they has to undergo so many difficulties. We know Mahabharata. And Arjuna's wife was, the Pandava's wife, Draupadi was insulted. Not in a secluded place within the four walls of the house, but in a palace where there's so many other people were there. In front of the king, that's a Dhritarashtra is leading, and he's also their uncle. In front of them, there is so much of insult. And also, their money was usurped by Duryodhana and party. See what kind of tribulations they gone through. They were banished to the forest for 12 years, Ajnatavasa and Aranyavasa. They was to spend 1 year incognito. So many difficulties. Can you imagine? Imagine a situation of the Pandavas versus our difficulties. They have lost 5 sons, not one. Draupadi lost 5 sons, Upapandavas. Even after winning the war, under the instruction of Krishna, Ashwatthama killed her sons, 5 sons. So imagine a situation, what kind of a difficulties they are. Extreme difficulties that you cannot even, fathom that, kind of difficulties anybody can sustain. But they are pure devotees of Krishna. So sometimes Krishna wanted to teach the world how to deal with, the situations like this, difficult situations of material world. He wanted to teach everything through his devotees. So sometimes, he chooses the people to teach how to deal with in the material world for those difficulties. See, that's why Pandavas has gone so many difficulties. Our difficulties are so, really speaking, minute, right? Imagine a situation of Pandavas' difficulties. But yet, of course, at our level, it is very difficult to comprehend, but we need to deal with the knowledge. When the Krishna is giving the Bhagavad Gita to us, through Bhagavad Gita, we need to understand this body is perishable. It's just a matter of time, right? Your son, the moment your son is born, he started dying. All of us, you, me, and everybody in this material world, the moment we start, the moment we burn, the next moment we lost 1 moment of our life, 1 day of our life, 1 hour of our life. So this death starts as soon as we're born. It's a gradual process, right? One particular day, we completely leave this body. So if you think in that particular direction, which is a ultimate truth of the material world, right? It is as sure as death. If somebody has to say something very firmly and reconfirm that what they are saying is the truth, how far do you confident about what you are saying? The people use a word as sure as death. That means death is so sure, 100% guaranteed. Everybody is going to die. So it's just a matter of time. It so happened in your case. Well, we have a tendency to think that, okay, the parents means, elderly people compared to the children. So first we will go, then next. But death is not necessarily chronological order. So each individual comes with their own desires and their own activities. And Krishna, as a Supreme Father, wanted to fulfill each and everyone's desire. See, the scriptures, it is also mentioned. A son who leaves the body in front of the parents, actually, don't get me wrong, but Shastra says sometimes the person actually, the children, are enemies of us in the previous life. They wanted to take a revenge on us, then they appear as a son. See, if you come as an enemy, then you can fight with them, and even if he harms us or we harm them, they say, okay, fine, we're enemies, we're fighting. Whatever happens is happened. But the greatest difficulty one can give is, take a birth as a child of the parent and leave them. then what happens? The kind of a tribulation, I don't have to explain, you are undergoing it. So this is also mentioned in the scripture. Sometimes our enemy appears as our child, and they leave us. So kind of a grief they give to us, that's a revenge they wanted to take. Sometimes it happens. So if you consider all these circumstances, then it gives the greatest solace that, first of all, we ourselves is not this body. And the son we are talking about, a person we are talking about, a relative, friend, or whoever it is, spouse, parent, children, all of them are temporary in nature, and they are associated with this body. The matter of fact is we are also going to leave this body. It's just a matter of time when we are going to live. So when you have this knowledge, it's a fact that your son is an eternal person. Your son is just left his material and stula. Stula means subtle and gross, right? Gross material body. That's okay. Every one of us has to live. But of course, I'm not undermining your pain. But the fact is sometimes, children come to give the pain only. The children who die in front of their parents, actually, in Shastras, it's considered they're more likely our enemies than friends are, children. The reason being that a previous life, if they have that, some settlement to be done, that karma bandhana brings them to become our child, and they will die. See what kind of a pain the parent go. That's the greatest tribulation that you can give as a enemy, right? So I will burn myself as a child of that particular person, and I leave my body. That means that person is going to go such a pain which I could not have given or could not have taken any revenge as an enemy. So if you think all these things, I'm not saying that your son is something like that, but we never know. But Shastra says that the children who are living this body in front of their parents generally are considered, probably they will do that because they wanted to settle their accounts of the previous lives. So first of all, the most important thing is you love your child, your son so much, and you have taken to Krishna consciousness. That's the most important thing that you need to remember. Krishna's plans are not associated with the temporary body, but his plans are associated with the spirit soul. And we being the spirit soul are permanent. So what is meant for us, what is good for us at a long run, in eternal point of view and a spiritual platform, that's what Krishna gives. See, sometimes, we get diseases, right? We go to doctor and he performs some operation. He actually uses knives to cut our body. It is a really painful. Sometimes, they give anesthesia. Even after giving anesthesia, will undergo severe pain. They also tell you that, take them some painkillers, this and that. But that pain is there, uncomfort is there. That pain is given so that we get cured. It's not necessary that, the doctor is giving us a pain, he's enemy of us, or, something like, he wanted to harm us. Actually, it looks like, he's actually using a knife. A murderer also uses a knife. But a doctor usage of knife and a killer using a knife is two different things. So, when you take up to Krishna consciousness, all the living entities for that matter, whomever go through the various difficulties, it is a special mercy of Krishna actually. When we become specially chosen by Krishna, then they get difficulties. As we talked about, Pandavas, they have given so many tribulations and difficulties. Why is that so? Pandavas are the greatest of devotees. Whereas, Kaurava's party was not a greatest of devotees, but, enemies of Krishna. They're demoniac in nature. They violated all the principles of Dharma, right? So whoever violates the principles of Dharma, automatically that person becomes the enemy of Krishna. Dharmastu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma, following Dharma means adhering to the orders of Krishna. One who doesn't adhere to the orders of Krishna, automatically that person becomes demoniac and he is the enemy of Krishna. Kauravas are enemies of Krishna. Apparently looks like, they enjoy that, right? Really speaking, Kauravas also, they may be sitting in the palace, Duryodhana and party, but every second they are going through the tribulation of how to put Pandavas into various difficulties. In the planning itself, they spend entire their life. End of the day, they left their life. So, we should not take always that, okay, I have committed a sin. No, just need to come out of that situation. Maybe, if you think like that, you can also think like that. Your son may be your enemy in your previous life. He wanted to settle his accounts and he's appeared as your son. That is also possibility. So don't think that, I committed a sin, so I'm undergoing it. No, it is a purificatory process. As a spirit soul, you are also a spirit soul. You belongs to Krishna. We're all children of Krishna. So Krishna never do any harm to his children. As the parents do any harm to our children? Never.
No.
So similarly, Krishna also never do any harm to any of us. Sukridam Sarva Bhuteshu is the best friend of all living entities. So you did not do any sinful activities, Mataji. You should take it as, Krishna has given you the opportunity to take Krishna consciousness seriously. For your son, you should take Krishna consciousness very seriously. And that purifies it. What kind of a ultimate benefit you get? We're hearing about it, right? We'll get a benefit of getting out of the cycle of birth and death. That is a kind of a benefit that we get, which is, very difficult to get even for the great sages who engage themselves in different. We will read about it in 6th chapter of BhagavadGita. The people engage in a different kinds of yoga vidhana, yoga processes they adopt. And they also cannot understand who Krishna is, and they won't be able to chant the Krishna's name. By mercy of Srila Prabhupada, this knowledge is propagated across the globe, and it's available to everybody so easily by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now you are introduced to that process. Don't think, this is accidentally happening. No, this is all well planned. It's a plan of Krishna. We need to have that complete faith, because nothing happens anywhere in the world. In the material world, we say that nothing happens randomly, like without a plan. Anything, there is something happening systematically, we can see there is a intelligence behind that, and there's a person behind that who is planning it. Similarly, whatever happens in our life, it doesn't happen randomly, abruptly. Don't think that Mani Mataji met you accidentally and you are introduced to this process. Krishna arranged it. If not Mani Mataji, there could have been another devotee through which you could have been introduced. It's a Krishna's plan. He wanted to introduce both of you to Krishna consciousness. I can see that. I mean, that's the purpose of, bringing them. See, he could have given, earlier also. But Krishna gives these things to an appropriate time. Sometimes you become very favorable to Krishna. He creates such a situations where, our mind, our consciousness becomes appropriate to take up to devotional service. The way I'm looking at it is, yes, it is, externally saying that's a painful situation and etc. But ultimately, Krishna favored you to bring you closer to him. See, ultimate goal of human form of life is to get out of the cycle of birth and death and become the devotee of Krishna, because that is our constitutional position. Jivera Swarupe Nitya Krishna. Our constitutional position as a living entity is to be in the service of Krishna eternally, every minute, every second of our life. But whatever reasons, somehow or other, we fall into this material condition, Krishna is favoring us by giving us difficulties to come closer to Krishna. See, if you have done something else, not a devotional service, you can think of that, okay, you are going through your sinful reactions and etc. But I don't see that, you committed any sin or, sin, you are going through sinful reactions. No. If that is the case, you could not have taken to Krishna consciousness. When you have taken to Krishna consciousness and devotional service, actually, you're not really sinful, but it's a Krishna's arrangement that, he's bringing you closer to him. We all are very, very dear to Krishna. Like I don't have to say about, how dear a child is to parent. You know it. And we all, the children of Krishna, we are talking about, one lifetime, not more than this 100 years of life of this body. But we are the children of Krishna eternally. Imagine how much affection Krishna must be having towards us. And Srila Prabhupada explains, when you take up to Krishna consciousness and we advance and progress in spiritually, and are about to reach the Golok Vrindavan, Krishna is eagerly waiting for us. As far as the Narayana is concerned, in the Vaikuntha Lokas, there is something called, Aksharadi. There's a scripture related to Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. It is very elaborately explains how Krishna, Narayana in that case, Vaikuntha Lokas, Narayana, Krishna lives as a Narayana there. And he's so eager when the living entity is entering the abode of Vaikuntha, he runningly comes to receive that particular Jiva, the spirit soul. He embraces the spirit soul and he invites them. Like, forgotten child, after many, many years, if he returns home, the parents, how they feel about it. That's the feeling of Krishna. That's the feeling of Narayana. He runs out of his abode to receive that particular soul and embraces the soul. And he gives a great respect and a place and he expresses his love and affection towards that particular living entity. So, Krishna is more affectionate towards us than you can think of it. We may think that I'm so affectionate to my children or my spouse and this and that, my parent and etc. But Krishna's love towards the living entity is unimaginable. That's the reason, the great devotees always say, as they progress in devotional service, they say that, I don't have any love for Krishna. It's not that, they don't have a love for Krishna, or they're not superficially saying that, I don't have love for Krishna. Because as you start loving Krishna, you can realize how much Krishna is loving you. Krishna's love towards us is enormous, multifold, trillions and trillions of fold higher than our love towards Krishna. Then the devotees, that's the reason they say that, hey, I don't have any love for Krishna, because they compare their love to Krishna's love, how much Krishna is loving them. Then they feel like, I really don't have any love for Krishna. Krishna is so merciful, he's loving me so much, but I could not, reciprocate in the same level. That's the reason the great Vaishnavas, as they advance, for externally for us looks like he's a great devotee and he's saying that he doesn't have any love for Krishna as a humility. It is also true humility, but the real fact is that humility is not superficial. It is a fact. They really feel that. They really feel that because they really understand how much Krishna loving us. So Krishna's love for all of us is enormous. The love you are feeling about your son is really speaking very, very, very minute compared to Krishna's love towards you, towards son and all of us. So imagine a situation if a father who is so loving ever puts us in a great difficulty. Certain times it looks like to us externally is a difficult, because see, a child who is suffering from some kind of a disease, the parent takes them to doctor and doctor make a surgery, is really cutting, and the child may think that moment, what father is this father, what mother is my mother, they are like, put me to be put to this doctor who is cutting my body with knife. But the parents knows, the parent goes to the tribulation also when the child is suffocated or pained by that surgery, but they know that that is required for the child so that he becomes healthy. Similarly, Krishna, when he puts us in a tribulation, in fact, he undergoes same emotions that we undergo with our children, much, much, much more in magnitude compared to our emotions. Our emotions and etc. are very, very insignificant reciprocation or reflection of what actually Krishna go through. So please don't think that you have committed some sin, then no. You take this as special mercy of Krishna. You become favored child of Krishna by taking in the direction. See, if you have a 5 or 6 children, and as a parent, we try to give every possible facility for all children equally. But one child is every day complaining about it. Okay, you have given it, but you did not give that. I asked you A, you have given me B only, and etc. etc. Every day, everything is complaining. And there is another child, he never complains, and whatever is given, he reciprocates with you lovingly and says that thank you, and is so grateful for whatever you are doing. Automatically, you're naturally inclined towards the child who is appreciating you rather than complaining. It doesn't mean that if somebody is complaining, you discriminate the child and don't facilitate what is required for the child. You still provide, but automatically your affection towards a child who is obedient to you and appreciating you increases and become more. The child becomes more dear to you. Similarly, when we are in tribulation, we'll continue to increase our faith in Krishna and appreciate Krishna and say that, yes, Krishna, you are my father. We're all your children. We belong to you. So whatever you are doing, I may not understand now. It may be looking to me like, very great pain, but ultimately it's for my benefit. I know about it. And if you reciprocate in that way, Krishna is also become so merciful. Krishna becomes very pleased that, he understands that, no, this child is so mature. My child is so mature that, the child can understand my situation, my love. That gives the greatest pleasure to Krishna, and he starts showering his mercy more and more. So devotees always take any situation as a special mercy of Krishna. So Mataji, you should, I know it is difficult, it's easier for people outside to say, but it's not so. It is difficult, but not impossible. Abhyasa yoga yukta now. To divert your mind towards Krishna and understand that your son is under protection of Krishna. We are under protection of Krishna. Then it will ease out. The best way is, chant the holy name of Krishna. The knowledge which you are talking about sounds like, external at this moment. That becomes internalized by chanting the holy name of Krishna and engaging ourselves in devotional service. Krishna reveals about himself within our heart. So that way, actually, you are not committed any sin, but it is various reactions of karma in a one way. Another way is actually, the way I am looking at it is, Krishna wanted to do a favor to you. Favor in the sense that, bringing you both very, very close to Krishna. That's actually the eternal favor. So don't think that, whatever has happened. See, it's just a matter of time. We all need to leave this place. It so happened that, your son has left this place little early. That is all. So when you think in that direction, your pain will vanish, actually. Right? Hope it gives some solace to you, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, as we had mentioned to you earlier, we only selected this girl for our son.
Yeah.
And to be telling you the fact, he was suffocating under her. She was not allowing him to be moving with us or his sister. It's a big relief Krishna has given.
Exactly. So don't even, have any grudges against your daughter-in-law, because take it as, instrumental. Krishna wanted to do something. He wanted to give every one of you something and bring you closer to Krishna. She become instrumental in the process. That way, you don't even, have any enmity towards her. So that way, even if there is any karma left, that will become nullified. If you become if you develop animosity towards her, that actually generates a more karma, unnecessary bad karma to her and bad karma to you, which is unwarranted. So just leave it. She's just an instrumental in the whole process. So one way, yes, as you mentioned, it's a relief to your son. Krishna has given. If he's undergoing through so much of suffocation, it's obviously he's undergoing through suffocation. So he has taken such a harsh decision. So it's not easy. People may say that, many things about a departed person, but to take the decision strongly, that means that requires a lot of courage. And he must have gone through severe situations where, he probably have determined to take this decision, right? So as you mentioned, it's a relief for him in a great way. I mean, definitely he felt it's going to be a great relief. And that's why he's taken what he has taken as his steps, right? So from that way, you should be happy. Yeah.
Innocent children, they are just 9 and 6.
They are 9 and 6 at this moment, Mataji, but if you read it, they're eternal. 9 and 6 as far as their body is concerned. And they have, to be very honest, if you read karma philosophy, everybody, whoever is going through the tribulation right now, is a consequent of their previous karmas. These children, right now, for us, definitely they are innocent. And this lifetime is concerned, this body is concerned, they may not have done anything. But their previous karma is dragging them into this situation where they have to be separated from their father. So this karma philosophy actually gives us a lot of strength, because these things are not happening randomly or selectively. It's happening according to our own previous activities. So then, when we take that responsibility, that pleases Krishna. And how do we nullify all of this? There may be more of it and less of it and etc. The way to nullify is surrender to Krishna. What Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Ahampa Sarva Papebhyo Moksheshami Machucha. If you surrender to Krishna, if there is any remnants of these consequences we need to undergo, he will nullify it. See? He is assuring that, you just, completely surrender to me. I will take care of any sinful reactions that is due for you. I will nullify them. That only person who can do is Krishna, Mukunda. The way to surrender to Krishna is given by Srila Prabhupada very nicely to us in a simple instructions. Chanting of the holy name at least 16 rounds every day, and taking Krishna Prasadam and associating the devotees and reading and chanting about Krishna. That is all we need to do. Simple thing. But that gives a lot of solace, and Krishna within our heart gives a knowledge about him. Once we understand Krishna, Janma karma chame divim evam yo viditatuta taktva deham punarjanma. If you understand Krishna, we'll get out of the cycle of birth and death. Imagine a situation. It's very, very difficult even for the great sages who are dedicated to the life, understanding the absolute truth. And Krishna says that, for them also he doesn't know. They cannot understand after reading entire Vedic scriptures. Vedesha Durlabham, Adurlabham Atma Bhakto, one who is engaged in devotional service, for them, Krishna reveals himself to them. So imagine a situation, how fortunate we are to get introduced to Krishna. By which means we got to introduce to Krishna, that's okay, that's fine. And ultimately we got introduced to Krishna. Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtim, Chaturveda Vajante Imam Janastu Sukritinuncha. Ardho Jigyasu Ardhaji Gnani Sabartaspacha. There's 4 kinds of people who come to Krishna. Ardho, one who is in distress. Jigyasu, one who is inquisitive. Ardho Jigyasu Ardhadi, business kind of mentality. Okay, I'm expecting this result. Krishna, I will share 10% of it. A businessman goes, most of the time they go to Tirupati and they make a arrangement with proposal to Lord Venkateshwara and say that, okay, give me this profit, 10% of it, I'm going to give it to you. So this is more like a business transaction with Krishna, right? Ardho Jigyasu Ardhadi. This is called Ardhadi. He wants some benefit. In return, he wanted to give it to something to Krishna. Ardho Jigyasu Ardhadi Gnani. The superior is 4 kind of a person who understands. Aham Brahmasmi. I'm not this body, but I'm spirit soul. As a spirit soul, my eternal duty is to be engaged in Krishna's service. With that knowledge, as a duty, he engages himself in devotional service, jnana, with the knowledge. So these are the 4 kinds of people. Whichever way one approaches Krishna, ultimately everybody gets purified. So depending on our level of consciousness, previous activities, so many considerations put in together, ultimately Krishna's goal is to bring all of us to our constitutional position of a eternal servant of Krishna. So Krishna chooses different ways and methods, which is more appropriate for us, so that I will come closer to Krishna. So when we think in that direction, and it's not just thinking it mentally concocted idea. This is a fact given in the scriptures. So when we understand this fact and we develop our consciousness in this thought process, then automatically we relieve from all kinds of pain. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja ahampa sarva papebhyo. If any remnants are, they will also. So Prabhuji, my humble request to you both is, don't even develop any animosity towards your daughter-in-law that unnecessarily binds you in a new karmic reaction. It's unwarranted. Because she is nimitta. Probably she must be definitely having some karmic association with you and your family and your son and etc. That's evident. But you think about empathetically. Last time, some time ago also, we discussed about it, right? Really speaking, the greatest loser, external point of view, materially speaking, the greatest loser in the whole process is your daughter-in-law. There's no doubt about it, right?
Yes.
So from that point of view, she also suffering on this particular incident. When you think in that direction, automatically your heart becomes lightened in the sense that you become more empathetic towards her rather than developing any animosity. Yes, she must have been a cause for your son to take such a harsh decision. But end of the day, actually, in fact, in one way of looking at it is your son has punished her for whatever the tribulation she has given, right?
Yes.
In fact,
Yes.
he's living from clutches of her conditioning.
Yes.
What exactly he did? He liberated himself from that, clutches, and he's given a great punishment to her, actually. It's
Yes,
not easy,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. You can talk anything, but losing a spouse at this age and having two children is not so easy. It's bringing up the two children. I don't have to tell you because you have children and you have brought them up. So it's
Yes.
not easy for her also. So from that point of view, if you think that your heart becomes lightened because the whole idea is not favoring her, but favoring ourselves. Because if you develop the animosity, we're getting into the binding of karmic reactions. So just forgive and
Prabhuji, we have been very affectionate to her.
yeah.
She has been us because of our mother's instructions.
Right.
And so is not allowing the children to come to us. That is our prayer to.
Yeah. I understand. Don't worry, Prabhuji. When it has to happen, the children will come to you. And even if that doesn't happen, you take it as a special mercy of Krishna. Because when we understand we all belongs to Krishna, and Sukrudam Sarva Bhuteshu is the best friend of every living entity. So whatever
Yes.
he does good for all of us. Sometimes we may not understand immediately how it is going to be favor, how it is going to be good, and etc. That's where we reminded ourselves about the tribulations gone through by Pandavas. Imagine a situation, Prabhuji, how many tribulations they have gone through.
Yes.
So don't be disheartened. Be confident and be positive. Everything Krishna do is for our good. Whatever the material is that sometimes we gain, sometimes we lose, is anyway temporary. So it's of course because we are in this material world, in this body, we tend to feel sometimes happy, sometimes sorry, but we need to overcome that and of Krishna and engaging ourselves in devotional service, which you are doing very nicely. I
Yes,
really
Prabhuji.
appreciate you both, Prabhuji, because it's very difficult. Not many people will take it up. See, this is your determination. This is actually a test for us. See, sometimes everybody goes through tribulation. Somebody takes that pain and learns the lessons and moves forward. Somebody becomes addict to various kinds of drugs and etc. Right?
Yes.
So it's all depends on what kind of decision you are making. Now, this situation actually made you to come closer to Krishna, which is very, very, very good for us.
Yes.
So you be positive. Your son is in a good hands. And
Yes.
since you are taken up to devotional service, I can 100% say that your son is going to get the best possible outcome.
Yes.
And previously I was not sure because it's a karmic reaction. If you don't take to devotional service, we cannot say anything. That's living entity may be going through its karmic reactions. But because you are taking to Krishna consciousness, you are becoming a devotee of Krishna, taken up to devotional service. Krishna is obliged. He promised that he takes care of 14 generations of every devotee. So the best way to influence Krishna is taking him as our master and becoming a devotee of Krishna. That way, Krishna becomes obliged to adhere to his promise. He takes care of 14 generations, both directions. So nothing to worry. You continue to be in Krishna consciousness and continue to be a devotee of Krishna, then automatically, not only your life, but also your son's life, not only your son's life, the 14 generations, that includes your grandchildren too. 14 generations. The grandchildren is just the second generation.
Yes.
So you are actually in a good situation, Prabhuji. Take up, cultivate a spirituality and move forward in life. That is what is my understanding, and that's what the scripture says. Nothing we spoke today is concocted, Prabhuji. It's all
Yes,
scriptural evidences, scriptural
Yes.
verdict. And I know that, as a mother, Uma Mataji, or a father, yourself, you may have various difficulties, various thoughts in this situation. But if you can divert your attention towards the words of Krishna, that not only enlightens you, but also give a great solace, an ultimate benefit. It's not just a superficial solace, but it's an ultimate benefit.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sandhya Mataji, do you have to say anything? You wanted to say anything?
Nothing, Prabhuji.
Hari Hari Bol. Charita
And
Mataji, Hari Bol. Charita Mataji, you want to say anything? So if nobody
No,
has to say
Prabhuji.
anything, Hari Bol. So we can close our conversation here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai.
Jai.
Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Jai.
Jai.
Chandrasekhar Prabhu Uma Mataji ki Jai.
Jai.
Very much Mataji and Prabhuji.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much.
Dandavat Pranam,
Hari
Prabhuji.
Hari Bol Mataji and Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Dandu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol Prabhu.
Hare Hare. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.